Hey, Lotter for Life here, bringing us a brand new video. This time around, it's another archetype analysis, and today we are talking about Cyberdarks. So, first and foremost, you're probably like, "What the hell is going on? This isn't PowerPoint." I'm trying out a new format. I've had a bunch of people tell me that I should try out a new format, update it, because just kind of having the screen blankly stare at YgoPro for the longest time, especially in like 40-minute long videos with like Amazoness and stuff. It's kind of boring. So if I make it into PowerPoint, it's a bit more interactive, it's a bit more intriguing to look at, and allows me to kind of help guide my thoughts as well as also your guys', so maybe I don't go on tangents as much as I usually do, which also hopefully makes it to where 40-minute long videos don't happen as much. As whether or not that actually will happen, I don't know. So today we're going to be talking about Cyberdarks. Personally, I've always loved Cyberdarks, mostly for their aesthetic and everything, and well, just growing up as a kid, like watching GX and stuff, and Zane's turn to the dark side as he like takes on this new like evil thing and going on. I freaking loved it, and I still do. Cyberdarks with their new support is actually not that bad of a deck. Like, I know I'm going to be called crazy for that, but like, me and several other people have seen what this deck can do with the new stuff, and it is stupid. It is so stupid. It's a very slow control based deck, but it's so incredibly stupid, and I love it. So first and foremost, the general idea of the deck is that it's normal summon based. You're almost never going to be special summoning, so you're able to make use of stuff like lose one turn and other, like, just control-based stuff. Heck, you can even play that one tribute card, that trap card that you tribute a monster that was normal summon, draw 2 cards. I can't remember what it's called, but it was played in Clee for the longest time. It's equip-based, which kind of sucks, but oh well. It's kind of cool how it works, and the equips give you effects if they get destroyed, so, like, you aren't losing really anything if, like, your opponent destroys them. They're all either Dark Machines or Dark Dragons, which is really, really good because, well, Dark is one of the best attributes in the game, and Machines and Dragons are 2 of the best typings in the game. So you have a lot of support for the deck because you're able to make use of stuff like Dragon's Ravine, Limiter Removal, Power Bond, stuff like that, because you're able to do so much damage and you're able to just take use of all of that to be able to really just facilitate this deck and allow it to do more stuff, and it gets kind of stupid as it goes on. This is also very much a deck that you do not want to go and do the grind game with, and this deck excels at the grind game, which is just really, really awesome. So really, really, really good like general idea for the deck, and the general thing with the co-equipping is that, well, you equip the dragons on the machines. So it's not really too anything like amazing. You could call it kind of like a proto-Dragoonity, because like this deck has a lot of similarities to Dragoonity, except Dragoonity is a million times better. Until Lynx came out, and then Dragoonity kind of just cry in a corner until we get the wind attribute, Mrs. Radiant. And even then. But anyway, so moving on, let's talk about the machines. So the original trio of Cyberdark Horn, Keel, and Edge, they're all Dark Machine with 800 attack, 800 defense, and level 4. They all also have the exact same effects for everything, except for one unique effect for each one. So they all can equip a dragon monster that's level 3 or lower from your graveyard onto it whenever it's normal summoned, and then they gain the attack of that monster, and then if they would be destroyed in battle, you're able to destroy the monster that they have equipped to them instead, which allows for some protection. It's not much by themselves, but with the field spell, it's kind of stupid with how much protection this deck has, and just the amount of damage that this deck is able to do, because depending on what you have equipped onto them, you effectively can have level 4, 2400, 2500 beaters out every single turn, and they protect themselves, they get bonus effects from the level 3 guys, and it's just really, really stupid how this deck works once it gets going. The issue is getting it going, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So, and then each of the level 4 machines have a unique effect. Horn does piercing, Keel does 300 burn damage if it kills a monster. It's literally irrelevant, I'm being honest. And then Edge can attack directly for half damage. That was like super, super common in archetypes back in the GX era. Like, I think like freaking Cyberdarks, I think that there's a Dino that does that, and then like freaking Crystal Beasts have that, and then there's like a bunch of other stuff that has that. It's really weird how Konami just kind of put that on like everything for a while. But yeah, so you're able to do piercing, which is always nice. 300 damage is not much, but it can help with the pressure and just putting more aggro on your opponent. And then being able to attack directly for half damage with Edge is actually more useful than you think, because then you get to exploit the abilities of the dragons without having to crash into something that's bigger than Edge. So the dragons, which are the two of the newest cards for the deck from Legendary Duelists. I can't remember what the tagline is, but anyways, from the new Legendary Duelist thing, I think it's a Duelist pack. Anyway, so the dragons are both level 3 and 1600 attack, so that instantly makes them, equipable onto the machines. They all are also freaking dark as well, which is great, because that just further adds more support to the deck, synergy and stuff. But even more than that, they have each, no joke, like 3 or 4 effects, and it's stupid, okay? So, Cyberdark Cannon and Cyberdark Claw, that's the 2 monsters. They're level 3 Dark Dragon, 1600 attack, 800 defense. Pretty sure I already explained all that. And then Cannon, you're able to discard them from your hand to search out any of the machines. So, Cyberdark Kill, Horn, or Edge. And then Claw, you can discard from your hand to search out any of the Cyberdark spell or trap cards. Now, right now, the deck only has 2 spells. 1 normal, 1 field spell. So, really, you don't have many search options for Claw. But, however, there are other effects just add on even more to this cake. This is like the cake, and then it's just the icing and even more cake. It's like having a cake on top of a cake on top of a cake with just crap tons of icing all over it. Just how good these 2 cards are. So, and then they both have freaking destruction effects. So, if they're equipped onto a monster, so like one of the Cyberdarks, obviously, well, yeah, obviously, then you get, and they get destroyed, then you get one of 2 effects, depending on which one. So, if Cannon is destroyed while equipped to a monster, you get to draw a card, which is just great, because, hey, it's free recursion, he covers himself, which is really nice. And then if Claw gets destroyed while equipped to a monster, you get to grab back any Cyberdark from your graveyard. And it doesn't even specify that it has to be a other Cyberdark, or that it has to be a Cyberdark not named Claw or anything. So you can grab back Claw off of his own effects. So, oh hey, you have a Horn out equipped with Claw, your opponent tries to kill him. Okay, Horn effect, destroy Claw. Claw effect, add back Claw back to hand from grave. And then just pitch them from hand to grave to search out the field spell or the normal spell once again. Which is really, really good. And then they both have Foolish Burial effects. So, Cyberdark Cannon is literally a Foolish Burial. Whenever the monster is equipped to battles during the damage calculation, you can send any monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then Claw does the same thing, but sends a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. And it's because of these 2 effects that the deck is really able to be as good as I think it is, on top of with the field spell, which we'll get to here in a little bit. So, the big thing is Claw, though. Like, you at first think that, oh, Cannon's the best one, but actually, I would argue that it's Claw. And the big thing with Claw is that you can send any monster from your deck from your extra deck to the graveyard. So you can set up further plays with 5-headed dragon for your Cyberdark fusions. You can send Predaplant Chimera Phlasia to be able to search off a fusion spell card from your deck to your hand next turn. You can send Elder Entity Intis in order to pop a card. You can send Cyphering Lord Omega to recur cards from your graveyard. It is so stupid, and I love it, because that is really, really good, just how much utility the deck has with Claw. Now, Cannon is also really good, because he can get more stuff in your graveyard, so you can set up more plays, and likewise, you can also abuse other main deck stuff, like, for instance, Glow Up Bulb, Destrudo, I guess, if you want to play him. Like, there's a bunch of other things you can send to, like, that I really just can't think of off the top of my head. Fairy Tale Snow, if you really want to, but this deck doesn't mill at all, so good luck getting 7 cards that you need to banish to summon Snow. But my point is that there's a lot of utility for Claw and Cannon. And then we got the 2 fusions. So there's the original Cyberdark Dragon, and then there's the retrain of him, Darkness Dragon, sorry. So they both do basically kind of similar things. So Cyberdark Dragon needs a Cyberdark Horn, Edge, and Keel to fusion summon into. And then he has 1,000 attack, 1,000 defense, gains 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. And then whenever he's summoned, well, fusion summoned, you can equip 1 dragon from your graveyard onto him. And then if he would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy the monster equipped to him instead. So the same kind of general idea, but however, he can equip any dragon. So you can summon, you can summon him and equip 5-headed dragon on him, make him 6,000 attack just off of that. And Cyber Darkness Dragon does kind of the same thing, where, oh, hey, yeah, he's bigger, but he also needs 5 freaking Cyber Darks to go into, which is really, really stupid, and not in a good way. It's annoyingly hard to get off, but if you do summon Cyber Darkness Dragon, you're probably going to win, because he does almost everything that Cyber Dark Dragon does, but better. So, He must be must first be fusion summon. And then if he is special summon, so just plain special summon, not just on fusion summon. If you like call to hunt him back or something, he will get his effect again. If he's a special summon, you can equip one dragon or machine in your graveyard to him. He gains attack equal to the attack of that monster, obviously. And then if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send one equipped card you control to the graveyard and negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. So, while he doesn't have protection, and he doesn't have attack gaining, like just for every monster in graveyard, he does still gain attack from the monster that he equips onto, and then you can send any equipped card you control to the graveyard to negate anything your opponent tries to do. And that's just not equipped cards onto him. You can like send a claw or a cannon that's equipped to one of your mini Cyberdarks. And so you're able to really just maximize so much profit off of him. It's really, really good. Now the big thing is, though, you still got to invest 5 Cyberdarks to make him. And Cyberdark Impact can only summon Cyberdark Dragon, so you got to use something like Overload Fusion for Cyberdarkness Dragon. Also, like with the other Cyberdarks, even with the field spell, they are not protected right away. You gotta have something, they gotta have an equipped card on them, which is kind of annoying. And even more so than that, these guys are like classic boss monsters, okay? Even Cyber Darkness Dragon. And by classic boss monsters, I mean 10 to 1, you're always summoning them, Cyber Dark Dragon or Cyber Darkness Dragon, if you're going for game. You don't really summon them very much often any other time. You almost always only summon them when you're going for game. And that's because, well, okay, you equip 5-headed dragon onto them. Okay, Cyber Dark Dragon's now 6k, and Cyber Darkness Dragon is now 7k. 10 to 1, you're going to be able to just, hit your opponent for game. And it's really, really good. But yeah, that's the kind of like big annoying issue with the deck, is that you only really summon the boss monsters when you're going for game. It's not like modern boss monsters where, oh hey, the whole deck revolves around it, and if you don't summon it, you lose. So that's just something to keep in mind while playing Cyberdarks. Don't expect to summon them very often, because most of the time it's just better to keep the little guys out, unless again you're that, or if like you're pushed into a corner where you need to summon one of them. I mean, obviously that's another exception to the rule. And then the deck has 2 spells. It has no trap cards, and it literally just has these 2 spells to work off of. So first and foremost is Cyberdark Impact, with an exclamation point to differentiate it from the pack. So Cyberdark Impact, it's a normal spell card. You return 1 Cyberdark Edge, Keel, and Horn from your side of the field, hand, and or graveyard to your deck, and then special summon a Cyberdark Dragon from your extra deck. This summon is treated as a fusion summon. So it's basically a better Miracle Fusion for the deck. You just return your 3 pieces from your hand deck, or sorry, your hand, field, or grave back to the deck, and then you get a free Cyberdark Dragon, and it's a fusion summon, so he gets his effect to equip something. And this is really, really, really good, and it's still a 2-of in the deck, unless like you just really want to forgo the whole fusion aspect, unless like you have to absolutely make Cyber Darkness Dragon. But even then, I still feel like that playing at least 2 Cyberdark Impact is an absolute necessity, because it's literally just it's a pot of avarice with a Miracle Fusion, okay? Like, oh hey, you have all 3 of your pieces in the graveyard, you have a 5-headed dragon that you sent there earlier, okay, activate Impact, return those 3 to the deck, summon out Cyber Dark Dragon for free, equip 5-headed onto him, and hey, you got a 6k beater who can just really just wreck your opponent's face in. So Cyberdark Impact, really, really, really good card. And then you got Cyberdark Inferno, and this card single-handedly almost makes the well, obviously with Cannon and Claw, like if this deck just got Inferno, the deck would still be nowhere. But with Inferno, Cannon, and Claw, this deck gets really, really stupid. So Cyberdark Inferno is a field spell, obviously. And then its effect is Cyberdark effect monsters you control that are equipped with an equipped card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. You can target 1 Cyberdark monster you control, return it to the hand, and immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 Cyberdark monster. You can only use this effect of Cyberdark Inferno once per turn. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add 1 Polymerization spell card or Fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. So Inferno is... it effectively turns all of your Cyberdarks into Magispectors. So now not only do you have 2,400 bodies who are able to pop stuff during the battle phase thanks to Entis and Claw, but now also they can't be destroyed in battle because they'll just save themselves, and your opponent can't pop them with card effects. And then, oh hey, this card lets you grant extra normal summons, and oh hey, you can return one of your Cyberdark, Horn Edge or Keel, who I did save themselves on the last turn, back to the hand, and normal summon it out again without using your standard normal summon, and then get, more monsters out on board. And then if your opponent does destroy this card, it gets you a free Overload Fusion, or Future Fusion, or whatever. And actually, Future Fusion might not actually be that bad in this deck. I need to test it, but we'll see. So, Inferno, this is how you make a darn good field spell without making it so absurdly broken, like with Dragonic Diagram. I freaking love this field spell. It does, along with Cannon and Claw, do almost everything to make this deck actually worth playing. It is such a good card. Now then, for some other outside support, I really gotta just bring up some things. So every Dragoonity tuner is equipable, or at least most I think every single one of them is equipable onto the Cyberdarks, and they grant additional effects to whatever they're equipped to. So like I think the little level 1 guy who has like 600 attack lets that monster attack directly or something. There's one that like lets it attack twice. There's one that turns it into a tuner. So oh hey, you can make a free Cyframe World Omega if you really want to. Now really honestly, you don't need the Dragoonity tuners anymore, but if you really want to, you can try it out. Then in Circuit Breaker, we're getting Conjoined Bird Renren. Okay, now Conjoined Bird Renren, I feel like is a lot like with Hunter Dragon, where Konami released Hunter Dragon in the set after Cyberdarks first came out to, support the deck. And hey, Conjoined Bird Renren does a lot of stuff for the deck and is coming out in the set after Cyberdarks got more support. Now, I don't have it on here, but I do have it pulled up on a separate page. Not Cyberdark. Conjoined Bird Renren, this is what it does. It's a Union monster. At least I believe it is. Yeah, it is a Union. It's a level 3 Dark Dragon, obviously, 1500 attack, so it has a lot of synergy with Cyberdarks. And then its effect is, once per turn, you can target one monster you control that equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and supposed to summon it. A monster equipped as this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. Its original attack becomes 1000. Also, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. So, what is good about this? Well, a lot of things. So, first and foremost, it makes the equipped monster's original attack become 1000. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's terrible. But it's not, because the Cyberdark's original attack is 800. And then they gain the attack of Renren, which makes them 2500. And then they can make a second attack during the battle phase, and then if they would die for whatever reason, Conjoined Bird Renren destroys itself instead. Which is really, really, really good. This card is so good for the deck. It is such a great, amazing card for the deck. It is so stupid how good this card is. Now that being said though, you're not really going to be using it that much until after you summon a third Cyberdark, because generally speaking what you usually do is you summon out 2 Cyberdarks, one equipped with Claw, one equipped with Cannon, and then you get out the third one, and then you equip that one with Renren. Now, as to which one is best for it, it really depends, but still, for having just outside support, Renren is really, really good for the deck, and it's a definite 2 of once it comes out. Now then, I put Hunter Dragon here as this kind of joke. He was made specifically for the deck, but he's 1700 and he's a vanilla, and yeah, sure, you make it 2500, but Renren literally does the same thing, but gives it actual good effects and stuff. And then like other outside support, you got Duality, Card of Demise, lose 1 turn, lots of traps. It really just depends on what build you want to go for. Personally, I'm not playing Card of Demise in my current build, but I've seen people try it out. It really comes down to your opinion and if you like Card of Demise or not. Personally, I don't like Card of Demise that much in the deck, but that's just me. But Duality, though, is a still really, really good card in the deck. Definitely a 2 to 3 of in the deck, because you just never special summon, and Duality just helps you get to your cards faster. And the reason why that I bring up this is because even though this deck has so much potential, this deck has so much potential to be a really good stun-based, slow, just beat down your opponent, like just absolutely destroy your opponent with just beat down, burn tactics, lots of traps, immunity to destruction and everything. The biggest issue with the deck is that even with Cannon and Claw, the deck still has a lot of consistency issues. You gotta play 3 of each Cyberdark monster, the main deck ones. At the very least. That goes for Horn, Edge, and Keel. And you need to play 3 of each of Cannon and Claw, because you need to get to them as fast as possible so you can just start building your board and wiping out your opponent's life points with them. And the issue is that sometimes you draw too many of the level 4 machines, and then you get nothing to put the dragons in your graveyard, so then you got nothing you can do at all. And that's the biggest thing, is that this deck does brick rather often. Now duality helps out a lot, but duality is one card, and obviously card of demise can help out too, but when you're playing that many monsters, and honestly it's not even that many, so I guess if you're going to play the card of demise build, you can probably cut down each Cyberdark except for cannon and claw down to 2. So I don't know. But either way, though, I still feel like this deck has a lot of potential. Out of all of the stuff in Legendary Duelists, Cyberdark's got the best support overall, in my personal opinion at least. I mean, the Red Eye stuff is cool, but it doesn't really do much for the deck. Amazonas was, well, just made more playable. The freaking Hydrogeddon stuff, I mean, yeah, that's kind of cool. Then you got the Megaroids, the Roid stuff. Yeah, that made the deck playable. But however, Cyberdark's not only got stuff that makes them playable, but stuff that makes them so playable, it might actually be something to be a good contender for being a rogue deck, an anti-meta deck, and a stun deck. You know, however you want to describe it, it's a good contender for that. So guys, that's where I'm going to leave my thoughts on this, on Cyberdark's at. I want to talk about them more, but I think we're going to reserve that for the deck profile, which I'm going to try and get out next week. It depends on when my impacts come in the mail. By the way, one other thing I want to mention, this deck is super, super cheap. The only expensive card is Cyberdark Impact, and if you go for the original Tactical Evolution Secret Rares, it's like $60. Don't do that. Be smart. Go for the DT versions, which are like $15. And then Cyberdark Dragon, you can find between $10 and under. Like, it's so cheap. And then everything else got reprinted in the Legendary Duelist set as commons and rares. The only holographic card in the deck other than Cyberdark Dragon and Cyberdarkness Dragon is Inferno. And obviously also Impact. So yeah, it's just really cheap on how to build on you know, like to get, and then you can just load up with like mirror forces and dualities and stuff, and everything else is like super duper cheap, unless you want to build a card to demise build, which is obviously not cheap. So guys, what are your guys' thoughts on Cyberdark? So what are you guys' thoughts on this new format for archetype analysis? I would love to hear your guys' opinions and stuff, because I did get some recommendations to try this out. I'm liking it because I can get more inventive with how everything looks, and it just looks nicer than just having YgoPro up. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see you all later. Peace out and goodbye.